welcome back.
Welcome, welcome.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hello, hello, hello. This is where you say welcome.
Oh yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome,
Right.
Hot Shot Secret fan.
We've got storms rolling in from the right.
Moving right day and night.
And we're supposed to be powered by science.
That's very true.
We better be able to get two people on one shot somehow.
A lot of hard work that went into this. You know, it's something that we've been chasing for a year and a half to try to get this truck in the breeze.
We are live.
We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another edition of Hot Shot Secret live here on Facebook and YouTube. Eric in the house today.
Yeah, what's up? How's it going?
Good. I'm back, but I'm going to be gone again the next couple weeks. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll get it in while I'm here.
That's it.
Episode number 136.
130. You know 36 is my favorite number?
What about 136? Yeah,
I mean, it's
counts.
by association.
it counts.
Do you know why, though?
Let's find out why. I know why. 'Cause
You know
the
why.
bowler.
The ball. Come on. Because of Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
Big time Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Jerome Bettis. I grew up, he was my favorite player. You refer
He's
to
a
him as
heck
the
of a
bowler.
bowler. So we're going to be talking about oil groups today. So that's
That'll be fun.
how many groups are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. We're starting good somewhere. So post your questions. You got questions about oils. A lot of times we get questions here about as our oil lineup has expanded, people often want to know what's best for my application and what viscosity is best and what type of oils should I use, how long can I run on it. We're going to try to answer all those questions.
But sometimes just the nuts and bolts, like what's a conventional versus a semi-synthetic, and we'll kind of get into all that.
We'll try our best to cover that stuff. So,
Yeah.
and we'll give stuff away. What are we giving away today?
It's going to be FR3.
FR3. You know what's in every one of our oils?
FR3.
FR3.
That's right.
So you can enter each week at hotshotsecret.com/giveaway. So all you got to do is go there, punch in your email right, and give you free stuff. So, and if you're live when we pull your name, we'll throw in some extra swag too.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Have we ever had?
I was just gonna say, I don't think we've ever had once.
One time.
Once.
Okay.
So let us know where you're watching from today. And as Aaron always likes to say, if you got a project car you're working on, we like to see those too.
Yeah.
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 So we're dual streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you like and share the video. Click the little bell so you get the notification. We're here every Thursday at 1:30.
And I get excited because you got comments on Facebook. I have comments up on YouTube.
So we're going to respond to YouTube comments today.
We got a couple people already. Dirt Road Nation.
All right, YouTube.
You saying
YouTube
what's
folks
up?
out there? Let's. We usually monitor you guys afterwards, but we're going live today.
Yeah, we got
live
it
YouTube
here,
and Facebook stuff. We got a
comment.
Also follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So let's see. I got more comments than you do. See, people are used to us being over here. And
I
just
know.
slid them all off. There they go. Dan Zelton's the first one in.
Ooh.
Brian's in, of course. Toot's in. Brian says first in, boom. But you know what, Brian? You weren't first. You weren't first. First comment, I'll give you that. Happy birthday, Kyle. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it with his top fan badge. Hi from Columbus, Ohio. Toots down there. Terry Howard, of course, with his top fan badge.
Always.
It's Happy Hot Shot Secret Thursday. His normal comment.
Yep.
Toot says happy birthday. Thank you, Toot. Kenneth Enser is down there in Springville, New York. All right, so Ray looks like he's going to start us off. Ray St. Marie Jr. says, I run your product on my semis. Great products. 25,000 on my fuel filter, 50% restriction. Usually semis plug up at 6K to 10K fully. Wow, so that's good to hear. Was it Roy or Ray? Good to hear, Ray. Yeah, I think, we were just talking about that on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive program there. Joe Morrow comes on Mondays and really talks a lot about the impact of the fuel on these semis and everything. And they got into a lot of the regen on the DPFs and the fuel filters and everything. And so using our fuel additives, of course, there's that cetane benefit and everything. But what they really drilled down to, got the science into, was really how much it frees up all your filters, from your DPF to your fuel filter, and these guys start seeing them get clogged up a lot less. And so there's so many more benefits.
He's such a wealth of knowledge. Joel is. Yeah.
He's on every Monday now. For you folks that haven't caught Steve Summers' Overnight Drive, you can also catch the re-airs. They're on all the podcasts and everything. Yep. He's on the first couple hours of each Monday. So if you want to hear a real industry expert really kind of nail down some really technical stuff, he's been doing a great job. We really appreciate having him on. Angel Matt is in here as normal with his top fan badge in San Antonio. Kenneth Enser says, I have a Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic. What is the best oil for it? Good question, Kenneth. We have a Harley-Davidson oil we've been working on.
We do.
It's not out yet.
It's not here. Yeah, it's not out yet. But
it's not out yet. The Harleys have a very finicky oil. It's a very... we almost were done with it, but Chris sent him back to the lab and said, go further with it. So in the meantime, I know of some people that have run our adrenaline racing oil in it. I think Corey did, and we got a few others. But until we have like a specific oil for that type of application, I don't really like to recommend anything. Yeah. I will recommend, in the meantime, any oil on Earth benefits from having FR3 put into it. So even if you're sticking with your Harley oil, you can add FR3 to that at a 5% dosage, 1.55 ounces per quart. We've actually done some testing with Harley-Davidson. It was the Cleveland Harley.
Yeah,
and,
dyno test.
Yep, and it was on the FR3.
It was.
Adding to Harley oil. So we've actually done some testing with Harley adding FR3 to the oil, and we saw, I don't want to quote it, it was like 2%.
2.5 on both horsepower and torque, I believe.
And torque, right.
Yeah.
And then we also tested on some transmission with them too. I think
I can't remember the details.
I don't think we ever white papered that.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend running FR3 in the Harley oil, and just sit tight. We will get to. Oh, there he goes. The Southeast Bedford sites.
3%, over 3%.
Over 3%, which is quite a bit on a Harley, you know. So and usually we see a 3% gain roughly across the board. Yeah. With FR3 bringing horsepower up, but in that type of application, 3% is a lot. You know, you feel it in the Harley. So that's what I recommend. Let's see. Joshua Steinmetz says we are talking about oil. If you have any questions, he's tagging someone. And see, Rodrigo's in. James Bruce says 36 is my football race number.
Hey, wow. There we go.
And I got a story for you guys about the bus and when I played football.
Ooh.
We need that. We need to call in. We need a call-in line.
We do. We were going to do that. We had a cell phone here.
We're going to do that. We're going to bring that back.
Yeah, I want to hear that story.
Rod says, hello, boys. What's up, Rod? Rod, are you down in Colombia right now? Tuned in from Colombia. Terry says, hopefully Aaron shared some of the Jonathan Pryor FR3 story from yesterday.
I haven't heard.
Not sure. I haven't heard, but we'll check on that. Jared's in from Huntsville, Alabama. Brian's first commenter. Happy new suit day, my brother. Oh, that's the birthday. Yeah, I missed that. Didn't fall right away. Thanks, Rod. Chad says, hi from Orlando. Larry Rayburn, Easy E and Kyle rock this show. Kenneth says, thanks for the info. Yeah, Kenneth, stay tuned. We will get that Harley oil out along with
a couple other products.
Yeah, we have a whole motorcycle line coming. Yeah. You want to tease them what it is?
Well, I know we got the oil. We're looking at like a fuel product, stabilizer with some other things. I can't remember what else is in there.
I think there was something for, I know we had a trans.
Yeah.
There's a chain lube, I believe.
That was the other one. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So there's stuff coming for the motorcycles. It's just down the schedule a bit.
Nick
Caputo says, what's up, guys? Went racing down in Atlanta this past weekend. Got fuel at a Love's by the track. Noticed my Onan 7500 generator was black smoking. Threw some EDT in and cleaned it right up. Showed my neighbors in the pits and they were blown away. Great stuff. Awesome. Nick's one of our sponsored racers. So,
you said Onan generator?
7500. Yep.
Yeah, we got
that's what I was gonna say.
we got some generator oils that'll be coming out. Part of our RV line. It's classed under the RV line. But that'll be within. I mean, we're sending labels to printers soon.
Today. Yeah. So that's That's coming soon. So
But EDT, that was a good call. Treat
Yep.
the fuel. Yeah.
I'd actually run some Diesel Extreme through it, Nick.
Clean it out.
Get it really cleaned out, and then EDT in every single tank with that. But we do have oil coming for those generators, specifically that one. So, Angel asks, can these synthetic oils run in regular gas cars? My son has a VW R32 that is all hopped up on Mountain Dew. Those are just kind of like the cars Levi likes.
Yeah.
So to answer that question, yeah, anything can run a synthetic oil.
Yeah.
That's old wives' tale. Something can't be moved over to a synthetic oil. There are some applications of older vehicles that prefer to be on a conventional oil, and there's some specifics to that. Can you run a synthetic oil in them? Yes, you can. But in a few rare applications, there's something you kind of want to stick with conventional. But here's a funny thing you're going to learn today when we get into groups. What's a synthetic oil?
Right.
See, that's what blows my mind. The same guys that are like, you can't run a synthetic in there. You got to run a conventional. Well, they're talking about a Group 3 synthetic, which is a conventional oil anyway.
Right.
So we'll talk about what's a synthetic and what's not. But let's see.
Well, we got, the cool thing about on the YouTube side, a lot of people they don't put their name. It's like their
Oh,
handle.
there's a screen name, right?
Yeah, so we got, let's see, we got Dirt Road Nation says what's up. He's from Indiana. He's got a 91 7.3 Power Stroke getting ready for an oil change.
Is that pre-Huey?
Ooh, 91?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let us know if you know. Victor says, what's up from Reno, Nevada? And then Just to Track Stats, he says, why do the plants on Kyle's side look so full of life while my side is all dead looking? What's wrong with me? Yeah, I guess you're right, huh? I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, yours are good.
That's a good observation, though.
I'm giving off good gas over here.
Yeah.
That's why. All right, before we get too far, we want to do what we do every week and bring on a Hot Shots employee to our famous Get to Know Us segment.
Yes.
And as the world wants to learn a little more about the folks we have out here. So, this week's victim can come up and join us. Mike Hot, you're good. Oh, you're going to have to hold it because you have to talk right into it or they can't hear you. So, why don't you first off state your name and what you do here?
Yeah, my name is Vaughn Beal. I'm the new sourcing manager here, in charge of getting all the material in so we can get product out to all you good folks. That's the gist of what I do, and I'm handling our freight in and out, mostly bringing product in the door and working with multiple warehouses to make sure we keep enough in hand to meet our ever-growing need to get product out the door here.
Ever-growing is true.
That's the gist of what I'm doing.
I have a need order right now.
Uh-huh.
Have you taken over inventory of T-shirts yet?
I will be.
Because we need some extra large
Been
T-shirts.
talking with Casey. Yeah, I was telling her we need some XLT. Being I'm 6'5", I need them a little taller.
Oh, I can use T too. I've got like a round part I got to get around, so the tall helps.
Yeah, it helps. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one question you get knocked out.
All right.
You're down to 9 more unless he throws a bonus one in. So, where were you born?
I was born in Coshocton, Ohio, over in the eastern part of the state.
Nice. And where did you grow up?
I grew up in a very small town called Port Washington, Ohio.
I know Port Washington.
It's over on Route 36.
Don't they have a
in
wall
Tuscarawas
there?
County.
Don't they have like a...
There's a little wall there. And yeah, I went to the old Indian Valley South High School. We actually had a good basketball program there at the time, back in the late 70s and early 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was your very first job?
Very first job, I worked at Wicks Lumber. I pulled orders for house builds. Everyday customers that walk in need something, and put product away and unload semis. That was what I did.
You were preparing for the career you're in.
Yeah.
All right, so what was your very first car?
I had a 1974 Porsche 914.
You started off with a Porsche?
914.
How'd you do that?
Well, my mom thought it looked pretty good, and it was the right price, and she thought I'd look nice in it, so I come home one day and there was a Porsche 914 sitting there.
What color?
Orange and black.
Nice. All right. Did you play sports growing up?
Yes, I did. I played baseball, played high school and American Legion baseball. I played high school basketball. I was an all-Ohio basketball player.
Was this at Ashland University?
No, that's where my youngest daughter went to college. My mother went to college there, and no, I was fortunate. Yeah, I played athletics. And it was fun. It was a good building block for what you do later in life.
Sure, it absolutely is. Currently, what is your favorite hobby? What do you like to do in your spare time?
I like to fish. I like to ride my Harley all over the United States.
Another Harley owner. We got some Harley fluids coming.
I've been reading about that,
All right.
the big bike oils and things of that nature. Yeah, so yeah, we like to ride down into western North Carolina and
That's good
all
riding
over
down there.
West Virginia and eastern Tennessee. It's pretty country.
Yeah, it is, especially the hills on the way there, everything. Yep. And what is your favorite holiday?
Christmas. Christmas is fun. We have the grandchildren, and it's always fun to see the grandkids.
Yeah, I can't
open
complain
things
about
up.
the family.
So yes.
And almost there. Favorite beverage?
I try not to be too much of a beer snob, but I really like the Trappist ales.
Okay.
Chimay, and believe it or not, in the summertime, I like good old Rolling Rock.
Oh, really? That's kind of a stretch. Yeah. All right. It's all over the place there a little bit. Finally, favorite TV show or movie?
Favorite movie would probably be probably Tombstone. I really
Good
like
one.
that movie.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. You got a bonus question?
Have you rode the Dragon's Tail?
Twice.
Did you keep it on two wheels the whole time?
Yes, I did. Yes, it's really interesting to get to the bottom of the hill and see the pictures that the people take and see what people behind you are doing.
What about, did Brett join you on either of those?
No, I was down one time just on a solo trip, and then another time we met some friends from Virginia down there, and then we went over and rode it and stayed down in the Maggie Valley area. Go over and see Wheels Through Time while we're there. So, beautiful country.
Well, yeah, great area ride. Well, you survived. That was painless, right?
Hey, I survived. Appreciate you guys having me on, and
Well, we're glad to have you part of the team, and
we're doing everything to make sure we can get product to you.
yeah, that's your man right there. That's we'll post his email across the screen later. So if your product's run a little late, you know who to ask. We wouldn't do that to you. Yep, you're good.
All right, Vaughn.
Well done. Well done. All right, let's see here. Hey, yeah, Angel. We covered that. He's due for an oil change of VW32. Full synthetic, Mobile One full synthetic VW. If it's their Euro blend full synthetic, that's actually a darn good oil.
Yeah.
And that actually gets back to this whole synthetic question. There's some Group 4 in there. So that actually is partially a synthetic. So if you can run that, you certainly can run anything we've got. What was the question? Colton says on my 7.3, 1320 diesel's in. Speaking of, I think we're going to kind of plug our we're on dealer shoutouts. Let's do that first. So our dealer shoutouts, you want to knock those out?
Yeah, we got a Freaky Fast in Forest Lake, Minnesota.
Awesome name.
Yeah, Freaky Fast. Haymaker Performance in Roberts, Montana. I think that's MT, right? Montana? Yeah. Haymakers.
it is.
That's cool too. I like that name.
So I wonder if Freaky Fast is like, they're making things freaky fast, or they get the job done freaky fast?
Or they make Freaky Fast,
Vehicles.
Yeah.
Right. Performance build. And then the Haymaker's performance, it's like throwing the Haymaker, they're going all out for it. So,
Right.
Yeah, I like it. We had some good names today on those. Remember, send us in your decals. We've been kicked out. We've had a lot of construction going on. We're doing a whole bunch of building here. I don't even know what this place looks like anymore. There's
Just keeps expanding.
Yeah, so the actual studio is like not being messed with really, but everything around it is, so everything's kind of crammed on top of it. So, but they've made a lot of progress. So hopefully we'll be back in the studio soon, where our dealer wall is. So send in your your decals, your stickers. 1320 Diesel, send me some decals. We'll put you up on the wall too. Any of our influencers, social media guys, retailers, Brian Murs, he still owes a few retailers decals. So I do have some, but we just haven't been in there for a while.
Right.
So we'll get those up. TV Land, what we got going on in TV Land?
Yeah, we got a couple shows Saturday, it looks like. We got 2 Truck U's. No, one this Saturday, the 17th, at 1 p.m. on Motor Trend. The guys are going to be talking about Stitch Eliminator. And then next weekend, the 24th, same time, 1 p.m. on Motor Trend, Truck U guys are going to be talking about our everyday diesel treatment.
Nice.
That's it, yeah, so we're looking a couple weeks out. This weekend, Saturday, and then the following Saturday.
Gotcha. Featured Ride of the Week. We got Levi. Looks like this is your chance to get your vehicle. I'm still on a lawnmower or something crazy.
Yeah.
But it's your chance to get your engine running something on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
They put that out every week. You could submit a picture, and then I think Chad vicariously just chooses something and puts them up there. So this week's winner is Derek Temple. Let's see, Derek. Oh, good setting too. He went all out.
Yeah.
That isn't your normal driveway shot.
That looks like our back lot or something.
It does.
It's middle of a cornfield.
So congrats to Derek Temple. Do we give them anything when they win, or do they just put their picture up there?
I think they're just featured.
Just featured.
Well, they get their vehicle out there in front of, like 40,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably throwing ball off. But nice truck, Derek.
Yeah.
You could have yours up there. So, and following over with our feature ride of the week, we also have a Protect Your Ride image. And show us your photos with Hotshot Secret products. Post on social media. Tag us. This week's pick is from Stainless Diesel.
Not sure who that is, but it's a good picture.
Huh?
No, I'm just joking.
That is a cool picture. Did Amy take that?
I don't know.
Is this Stainless Diesel? Stainless Diesel? Oh, is that the 30 weight?
The 1030?
I can't tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Whose
truck is that?
Might be Roy. Yeah, I know. But see, that's the combo right there. New oil, plus clean it out diesel extreme while you're changing the oil, follow up the EDT. Nice truck. We need one of those.
Yeah, we do.
We need one of those.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. So congratulations to Stainless Diesel and with your Protect Your Ride image. Steve Summers, remember, every night, Steve Summers Overnight Drive is live from the Hotshot Secret Studios, 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. So midnight, starting at midnight on Monday morning, if you will, all the way through Friday. So basically tonight at midnight, he'll be kicking off the Weekender, closing down with his Friday show, which is always one of the biggest ones. And Friday people get ready for the end of the week, so it's a fun one. And as I reminded, every Monday we got Joel on there. Chris comes on.
He was on last Friday?
He was on last Friday. He's usually on the first Friday of each month, but we had Good Friday, so that pushed him back one. But so that also means he's that much closer to the next. So I guess we're 3 weeks out on the next one with Chris.
And he's on a full episode, right?
He's on for the
all
whole
5 hours. Yeah, so that was a good episode too. So go back and listen to it.
Yeah, if you didn't listen to Friday's episode, what would that date be? That would be the 9th, we think. Because I think we categorized them by day. Yeah. Go back and check out the episode from the 9th, 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th, 10th. Yep. Yeah. So, and Chris is on there all 5 hours. When you're on there for 5 hours, you really respect what Steve does. Yep. It's tough, man. Chris was hurt. He's texting me all throughout the middle of the night. He came into the office to take it. Yeah. So he was in his office here in the middle of the night, and it was a good one though. So check that one out, and check out the Monday edition too with Joe Morrill. So keep up with all the stuff going on around here. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, with the Overnight Drive, we now have the app available on Android and Apple. So either phone, you can download the app. Just search overnightdriveradio.com. You can get the app directly on your phone, so you can listen to the live show. And we just got it launched on Alexa. Yeah. So if you've got a smart speaker, you can I don't have one. Me neither. But I think you just say, Alexa, play Overnight Drive Radio, and it will come up. And you can listen to the show. So it's just a few more ways that we've got distribution out on the radio program. So and if anyone's looking to advertise, we're still taking advertisers right now for the show. It's a great audience. It reaches all the truckers overnight. So reach out to me and I can tell you about some advertising packages we have for that. But you can stay in the loop with our sales, news, and blogs. Subscribe to our email newsletter. That is at hotshotsecret.com/email. All right. Oh, so look, Amy's in. She said, yep, SD. John Gilbert and Roy, she's tagging them.
Oh, yeah.
Did you not know, Amy, that you were our pick of the week? Amy does such a good job for us over at Stainless Diesel. We use her photos. A lot of the really cool shots you see in our marketing and social media and stuff comes from Miss Amy Gilbert over there in Stainless Diesel World, which I got to frequent when I was up there for the NTPA show.
That's right, yeah.
They live right near there, so they put up with me like every single night. So I appreciate them. And Terry Howard said, Jonathan Pryor said FR3 is like Frank's Red Hot Sauce. I put that stuff on everything. Yep. Chuck Kumala. I hope I didn't butcher that one. I love living so close to you guys. My wife was able to actually come and pick up some product a few years back, and now the shipping is almost next day.
Nice.
Great to hear. We love when people stop by.
Yeah, this is our lobby, if you didn't know. We're sitting in the lobby.
Walk into it, that's what you see.
And we got product, we got T-shirts. You can come in.
And we'll give you a little
close.
discount if you come see us.
That's right, yeah.
Little personal discount for coming in. And we'll give you a whole tour. Right now it's kind of a lot of tour of construction, but we can always give you a tour if you come in. So Stanley G. Till III says, great midnight show. Steve is a professional. He is. He's the king, man. And he loves the products. Thanks, Stanley. We appreciate that. Chuck Kumala says, ammo represented. Okay, there we go. Representing the modern Mopars. Speaking of that, I know we're about to get into events, so before we talk about the upcoming events, I'll recap on an event we had this past weekend, which was the Outlaw Gas First Diesel Cash Bash down in Tennessee. Epling Garage, one of our sponsored drivers, Logan Epling, also one of our diesel shops, Epling Garage, put it on. Unfortunately, we got some rain. Rain is never a good thing for the racetrack, but it was a really cool event. We had a good time Friday night before much of the rain came, and then rain pushed things back quite a bit on Saturday, and we were really waiting for it to dry out. So that was unfortunate, but we still had a blast. And not only did we have a good time, Maverick Diesel was out there. They had the dyno out there, and we had since it was a Gas First Diesel event, we had a very cool car out there.
That's
Epling's Hellcat. So for all of my ammo friends out there, this is a bad boy, and it's the world's fastest Hellcat. The whole Epling family was there. Oh, do we have a video coming out?
Ooh.
I didn't even know we had a video. Okay.
So we'll see you later then.
I don't know how he did that because I haven't even uploaded everything. Okay. Did Matt do that? I don't know. Okay. So I guess we were going to have a little video later, but you'll see I even got to get right along in it.
Did you?
They put a seat in it. It didn't have a seatbelt, so I just kind of held on for dear life. And he blew the tires off because it was wet.
Oh,
so I really didn't get to. He hopped on a little bit mid-track, and it was like, it's bad. So that Epling 007 Hellcat, fastest in the world, is powered by Science. They're running our fluids, and we joined up with them, and they've got some really cool stuff coming. And Papaw don't mess around. Wait till you see what they do with this thing. It's going to be bad. So we're happy to be on board with the Epling's 007 Hellcat, and you're going to see a lot of cool stuff from that car this year. So, and the event was great too. We did get in some racing late on Saturday. We finally got it dried out. We did have the second annual, I guess, biannual Hot Shot Secret Spectator Nationals again. And that ironically came down to a modern Mopar final. Jeep SRT versus a Charger Super B.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was cool. So I think there's video of that stuff coming, so I'm not going to leak too much out. But we had a good time. So thanks to Logan Epling. Thanks to Montana Cherry. Thanks to everybody down there. We had a good time. Thanks to Matt Rice. He came out there in his RV with his truck and blew up his truck on the track. So epically. So, that was a good time. But we had a good time looking forward to it. But coming up, we got a lot of stuff in event land.
Yeah, we do. So the Outlaw Street Call Reunion 7, which is on Flow Racing, presented by Hot Shot Secret. That's the 22nd through the 24th at VMP, Virginia Motorsports Park.
So next weekend is going to be busy.
Yeah.
They cleared this weekend because somehow they knew it was my birthday, and they were like,
right.
Let's give them a break.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually somewhere for my birthday. I'm finally home for once, but I got to pay for it because the next weekend is crazy.
Yeah, so that's a good event. Then, same weekend, we got a big one.
Huge.
Season opener of ODSS. We got Rudy's season opener. This is at Piedmont Dragway in North Carolina. Always a huge event. Tons of people show up.
And if you remember last year, we didn't get the full Outlaw season in.
Right.
We didn't get either Rudy's in.
No, they fell victim and they had to cancel the event.
They canceled the opener and the closer.
Yeah.
So it's been since 2019 since we've been down to Rudy's. So
People should be excited. Show up.
everybody's pumped. It's ready to get the season going. So kickoff to Outlaw. Kevin will be down there.
Kev, yeah, he will.
Kev Dog will be on the road. So for all of you that have your real tough tribology questions,
He's the vice president of research and development here.
he's chief nerd.
Yeah, same
He's
thing.
chief nerd. So he'll be in the booth though. So if you got your questions, and Erin, she'd kill me if I didn't mention her.
Yep.
Aaron Hauser will be down there in the booth along with Kevin and and Matt Rice will be down there too. He's
Yeah.
going to be filming for us as well. So
The next one's also a really big event, especially
you
for
know what,
us.
side note though, I should say I just got a text. I was confirming. We also are going to have a really cool truck in the booth
At Rudy's.
at Rudy's. Yeah. JW Montoya. I have pseudo confirmed it, so I'll go ahead and mention it out
Put it
there.
out
But
there.
check out the social media. Check out his stuff on Instagram. JW Montoya. He's a cool dude. Does some awesome builds and everything. He's bringing down a really cool truck that we'll have in the booth, and so you'll see that. Also next weekend, I'm heading to the other coast.
Yes.
I am going with Larry out to sunny California. It better be sunny. Because last time I went to sunny Florida, it wasn't so sunny.
Right, yeah.
So these coastal places owe me some sun. And we are kicking off the Hot Shot Secret Whole Shot Diesel Series, the brand new diesel drag racing series for the West Coast. We're
This is
title
the first
sponsoring
event.
it. First event, Diesel World's putting on the first one. It's the Golden State Diesel Fest at Sacramento Raceway Park. We'll be there next weekend. It's all going down on Saturday. And it's not just the drag racing, too. They're putting on a whole bunch of other stuff. I know there's a big truck show going on. The Northwest Dyno Circuit is going to be there with the dyno competition. And we've just been looking forward to this. I know it was something that kind of developed late in the season last year, and we've been really looking forward to bringing diesel drag racing back to the West Coast. For years there, we had the NHRDA.
Right. And then
And-
there's been a void for, what's it been, 2 years almost?
It's been a couple of years, yeah. And so I'm looking forward to getting back out west. I know we have a lot of friends and partners, and I got sponsored guys out there that have just been wanting to race for a while. So I hope all of you are going to come out to Sacramento next weekend. I'm going to bug all my West Coast friends here in the next couple weeks, or next week here, to get ready for it. So, but we'll be out there next Saturday. And it goes all day. They got a whole bunch planned. So I think I fly out Thursday. So I'm gonna be there a couple days ahead, getting ready. So my West Coast people, give me a call and let me know if you're coming. And love to see you out there. So that'll be at Sacramento Raceway next Saturday. Both big series kicking off same day.
Yeah, how about that?
So we'll have a lot of news next week and a lot to go from it. So, and just to give a little look ahead past that. As soon as I get back from California, I'm heading right back to Kansas, as we saw here just a minute ago. 1320 Diesel is putting on the East vs. West Cash Bash. So it's a really cool event. It's being held at what they call the Equalizer, which is a no-prep airport strip in the middle of nowhere. Kansas, I mean, there's nowhere. So they've got a couple big classes for it. Cody Fisher, our buddy over there, Fire Punk's captain of the East team. And I know they've still got some spots left too. I saw them just post up the other day. There's still some buy-in spots. So if you want to be part of this, there's still a chance to do it. There's a couple people out there that better be buying in that I've been talking to that are either scared or we'll call them scared.
Yeah.
Until they buy in. So, but that's going to be really cool. That's on May 1st. So that's the following weekend. So we'll we'll get you updated on that next week and look forward to it.
You got a question here for you, Kyle, from Just to Track Stats on YouTube. He asked, if I use your oils, will I need to use Stitch Eliminator less often?
That's a great question. All right, I'm going to answer it like this. I hope if you have a new car, new vehicle, before any dirtiness is built up, and you start running our oils very, very early, all of our oils have FR3 in them. FR3 has similar cleansing properties as does Stitch Eliminator. So if you start fresh with a freshly cleaned engine and you start using our oils, you generally will never have to use Stitch Eliminator.
Right.
It doesn't hurt every third or fourth oil change to put some in there just to get yourself a nice peace of mind and flush and clean out. But generally speaking, FR3 will keep you pretty clean. Assuming it's not a brand new engine, which very few of us get a brand new engine, the first thing I always like to do on a used engine is clean it out. So that initial oil change, I'm going to put Stitch Eliminator in, period. Now, if you choose to put Stitch Eliminator on top of our oil, or you just want to run a 3,000 mile short increment with some really cheap oil with the Stitch Eliminator on top of that, I see people go both ways, Personally, what I would do is I would still run our Green Diamond or one of our oils that has the FR3 in it and spike it with Stitch Eliminator on the first time. After that, after you get it cleaned out, you're good. You're not really going to need it.
All right.
Doesn't hurt to come back with a initial clean out dosage and then with a maintenance dosage.
Well,
Doesn't hurt to hit it with a maintenance dosage every once in a while.
They're asking how new is new for Stitch Eliminator.
That's going to be, every engine's different.
Right.
But generally speaking, if we say that after the initial clean out, we want to do every third or fourth oil change, then I'm going to count that to being a simple interval of 30,000 miles or so. So my rule of thumb would be, if I bought a used vehicle that had more than 30,000 miles on it, I would do a clean out.
Yep.
If you buy it, say 15, 20,000, the FR3 will catch up and clean it out pretty good. So that's going to be the number I'm throwing out there. That's not scientific.
Right.
But I'd say 30,000 miles is about time for a good clean.
But even if, you just mentioned if you buy a vehicle, but even if you have your own vehicle and you're on top of maintenance and you're doing oil changes, 5,000 miles, 3,000 miles on the dot, that oil is still going to break down to an extent. So you're going to have some of that stiction build up. So you still want to run it.
Well, and also if you aren't running our oils and don't have any FR3 or it's never seen Stitch or FR3 and you're not using some other product out there, the engine's probably never been cleaned.
Exactly.
Even though you're changing your oil regularly, you still, like you said, you're still going to have a carbon buildup and everything. So good to give a nice scrub out before you completely switch over. So Dan Zilton's in. What was the question? Lynn Miller's in. What's up, Lynn? Lynn, what? You won't be at Rudy's? I know you didn't love me anymore. Lynn, I love you. You know it, buddy. But yeah, I am not going to be there. So, but Kevin's going to be there.
Kevin's going to be there.
Come on. I mean, I didn't just throw, Eric in every place, man. We went all the way up to Kevin.
Next best thing, yeah.
Yeah. And Aaron's going to be there. So, Erin. So, sorry, Lynn. But I'll catch you on the next Rudy's, I promise. So, what are we on to?
We got a giveaway.
Oh, who's our giveaway winner? Oh, here it is. Yeah, this week's prize is going to be some FR3.
Yep.
Got some FR3 here. And be sure to sign up each week at Hotshot Secret /giveaway, and you could be our winner. As a bonus, comment below. Who is our winner this week? It is Giant.
G-Giant.
Is that what you go with it?
Giant.
G-G-I-U-N-T. At something
or another, yeah.
So G-Giant. If you're in, say hi. And
comment.
We'll give you some extra swag. But G-Giant is going to win some FR3 just from registering. So remember, you can win free product too. HotshotSecrets.com/giveaway. It's that simple. So let's jump into some product education. And how much time? What time we got?
10 after.
All right,
so we got a little bit.
We got a little bit. Well, we'll do a condensed version.
Yeah.
There's my mom showing up late with the top fan badge, but I still love you, Mom. And so we're going to talk about groups of oils today.
Right.
So a lot of people don't understand groups of oils, and I'd like to do a 30,000 foot view first.
Okay.
And then let's come back and apply it to our product line.
All right.
So oil is old dinosaur stuff, you know? So when we talk about the groups, there's 5 groups, group 1 through group 5. Mm-hmm. And this is all based on, we're starting with the barrel of crude oil and what we can actually get out of that oil and what those different products that could be derived from it, what you can use and develop from it. So not everything comes from that because some things are synthesized. They are man-made synthetics too.
Right.
So group 1 is a group that really doesn't even count when you're talking about our world, because that is so crude that it's not even useful in anything. It's what's our definition here? It's a solvent refine. It's a simpler refining process, making the least refined and therefore also the cheapest base oils available. So this is used for really dirty stuff. When you know, it's just an inch away from just pouring it out of the barrel itself. It's very poorly refined, and you don't get much benefit out of it. They consist of a common mix of hydrocarbon molecules which cannot be distinguished in the refining process that results in an oil with irregular molecules causing increased friction with the oil. Group 1 oils are therefore used most often in less demanding applications. I'm going to speak to those molecules a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of that's foreshadowing where we're getting.
Right, exactly. So we'll get back to that. But I'm just going to forget about Group 1 because Group 1 sucks. It's garbage. There's applications for it, but not really in our any automotive application. Any engine like that has tolerances that are too tight to deal with a Group 1. So we're going to go to a Group 2. Group 2 for their definition based is Group 2 base oils undergo hydrocracking, which is a more complicated process than that for Group 1. Hydrocracking is a process that breaks down the large hydrocarbon molecules into smaller ones. Get back to those molecules again. Those hydrocarbon molecules of these oils are saturated, giving them better antioxidation properties. Group 2 oils are priced closely to Group 1 oils. So, Group 2 is what we all know of as conventional oil. It's your 1995 Midas oil change, cheap oil. It's the cheap stuff you see at the auto parts store, just your regular conventional oil. It's not that highly refined from a Group 1. You're not that far from the barrel, if you will. But there is some refining process going into hydrocracking. What it does is, if you were to look under a super microscope down to the molecular size of the way they build these oils, the analogy that I'm going to use, as Chris is one he always talks about, is we've got 2 surfaces of metal that are touching. This is what oil is protecting. So imagine that surface. We want to be able to slide right through it. So imagine the room you're sitting in. If we were to pour a bunch of balls into this room, and the goal is to ride a surfboard across the room, across those balls. Well, a Group 2, these molecules that we're talking about, they're so irregular that the room is filled with beach balls and golf balls and softballs and basketballs, all different sizes. And it's just a mess. There's no chance you're going to be able to ride a surfboard across it. You're going to run into those molecules. Well, that's exactly what's happening in a Group 2 oil as well. Those molecules, since they have so many different irregular shapes and sizes, they can break very easy. There's many edges to catch on. So when you start to build a carbon chain out of them, or the molecular chain out of them, and you want what we call film strength with oil and everything, it's not real strong because there's so many different size and shape molecules. There's so many different areas to break off. And when you break that chain, you now start dropping your viscosity, and the oil's no longer protecting the engine. Is it good at first? Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
It's good as long as it's holding its chain, really. But it's prone to break that chain relatively easily.
Right.
And that's why you'll see on your conventional oil changes, how long can you go on that? It's a pretty short interval until you want to get it out and protect the oil, protect the engine with the better oil or fresh oil. So that will take us to Group 3. This is where most of the world ends.
Right,
This is about the limit. Group 3 I'll give you the technical definition again, undergo an even longer process than the Group 2 oils. The process called severe hydrocracking is also more intense. More pressure, more heat is applied during the refining process. The result is a pure base oil with a higher quality. Even though Group 3 oils are derived from crude oil, they are sometimes described as synthesized hydrocarbons. Now, this is the important point I want people to understand and bring home. When they take this raw oil, crude oil from a barrel, and they put it through the synthesized process, they put it through hydrocracking, they put it through severe hydrocracking, what they're doing is they're trying to get those molecular structure of it more consistent so the chain is more difficult to break. The more effort they put into it, the result is a higher group of oil. So now we're up to this Group 3 stuff. Remember, this is still a conventional oil. We're still talking about oil that was pumped out of the ground. But what this oil is called when you get to Group 3 is
Semi-synthetic.
synthetic.
Well,
it's what they call a synthetic oil in the real world.
Right.
So when you're at the parts store and you're looking at all of those oils on the rack, and you see the conventional oils, you see the semi-synthetic oils, and then you see the synthetic oils. The truth of the matter is none of those are synthetic. None of those are.
Right.
Even all the synthetics, the full synthetic, the big brand name full synthetic, none of those are truly synthetic. Synthetic means a synthesized oil, something that's man-made and produced. We are still working with crude oil out of the barrel for groups 1 through 3. And it's just a matter of this refining process, how far it's refined. Now, the Group 3 oils are highly refined. And because of that, now getting back to the analogy of the metal surface here, the floor that we're standing on, now instead of having the beach balls and the golf balls, we're down to, say, baseballs and softballs.
Yeah.
That's it that's in the room. So now we're just down to baseballs, softballs. There's still some edges to catch if you're trying to ride a surfboard across that film layer, but it's a lot more consistent. You can probably make it to the other side of the room, you know, like it's pretty smooth. You might catch an edge and break off, and just like a synthetic oil, it can last a lot longer because now that structure is much more tighter, it's much more controlled and uniform, gives you a flat film layer to build your lubricant base off of, brings your wear down considerably because there's less edges catching off, and it holds its viscosity much longer too because you can't penetrate that chain as easily as you can on a Group 2. Now, the reason why they're called synthetic oils, that's a whole other side story in itself. If you look back in history, you can look this up. There was, at one point in the 90s, real synthetic oils came out, and they changed the game. We were getting a really good oil in the 90s, and that was polyalpha olefins, or PAO, that we talked. And that's true synthetic oil. And what happened was, I don't remember who it was. It was one of the big names.
Yeah, I don't recall.
One of the big oil names. Levi, you remember?
Maybe Royal Purple?
No. It was like well, I'll look it up. We'll post it later.
Yeah.
But one of the big name oil companies said, man, this stuff's expensive. You know, we're just going to make a Group 3 and put a synthetic on the label. And as soon as they did that, the whole industry's going, wait a second, that's not a PAO. That's a Group 3 oil.
Right.
You can't call Group 3 synthetics. This literally went through all the way through the Federal Trade Commission. And it went all the way up to the feds. And the feds ruled, and they said, you know what, you oil people, we don't want to get involved in that. You call it whatever the heck you want. We can't tell the difference in any of this stuff. And literally that day, the industry changed. It changed the whole oil industry. Everybody went to Group 3s. And they called them synthetics. To this day, that's why if you go into a store, you will see synthetic on those bottles. Truth be told, we do the same thing on our bottles because people don't quite understand it, and we don't want. It's too hard to explain when you don't have somebody sitting there. But what we also do on our bottles is we also put the groups on our bottles.
Right.
So, you know, we have a Group 2 conventional. You have a Group 3 bunny ear synthetic. If you have a blend of a Group 2 and a Group 3, it's a semi-synthetic.
There it is, yep.
So that's where all this comes. But we just try to be a little more upfront with the customer. We try to educate people on this so they understand exactly what they're working with. But at the same time, we also have to have a label that makes sense to people too. So we try to explain it a little bit more thoroughly, even on if you ever spend the time to read the back of our bottle, which I'm sure everyone does. But so now let's jump to Group 4. This is the good stuff.
Yeah.
This is the good stuff. So once you get up to Group 4, I'll give you the technical definition. Group 4 base oils are polyalpha olefins. I can say that fast.
You're good now, yeah.
Yeah, old school. So these are not extracted, but made from small uniform molecules. This is also the biggest advantage of PAOs because they can be completely tailored to have a structure with predictable properties. They are very suitable for use in extreme cold and extreme hot conditions. So now we've finally got to man-made synthetic oil. We're actually controlling the molecular structure of the oil. We can actually, as it says, tailor the structure of it. So let's get back to the analogy of that lubricant on the floor here. Now, once you get to a group 4, since we can control the actual molecular structure of it, they're identical. So now fill the entire floor with BBs, little tiny BBs. 100% the same. Yep. Every single one is identical. There's no difference to any of them. It's man-controlled, man-made in a lab that allows you to completely control the structure of those molecules. Now jump on your surfboard. Yeah. You're going to slide right across the floor. That's the film layer base that we have with the PAO. What's also great about that, since every single molecule is scientifically identical, there's nothing to catch on. So it prevents the oil from breaking down. You're not going to catch an edge, if you will, break the chain, and start breaking down the viscosity. It is going to stay in that grade forever because of the identical molecular structure of it. This is light years difference than a group 3.
Yeah.
So don't think of it like group 2, group 3, group 4. It's literally group 2, group 3, and then 4 is like above the ceiling. So it's a whole different ballgame that we're working with. And like I said, it pretty much vanished in the 90s when everyone said, well, we can call this other stuff synthetic. The customer doesn't know the difference.
Right.
So why would I spend all the money on this investment on a PAO if we can call a group 3 a actual synthetic, and it's not? Well, what did we do? Chris brought back the Blue Diamond PAO years ago. He's been selling it for a long time, even before we sold it underneath the Hot Shots brand. And that is a 100% pure Group 4, which we'll get back and touch on when we identify the stuff here. But on the regular lubricant world right now, very few companies use Group 4s.
Yeah.
And the ones that do use a small percentage of them. It's a great base to put in any oil, even if it's not 100%. So I understand why some companies, it's kind of like a semi-synthetic. It's a little bit of Group 2, a little Group 3. Some do basically, it's called a semi-super synthetic, where they do some Group 3 with a little Group 4.
Group 4.
And that's a great oil, So it just helps. It helps prevent the oil from breaking down. The more consistent the molecular structure can be. So the more Group 4 you can put in the oil, really the better off you're going to be. So, I can't forget Group 5s.
Right.
Okay, so let's get back to this Group 2, Group 3, and then Group 4 is way up here. Well, Group 5 is like over here. So Group 5 takes like a left turn.
Yeah.
They're super high in esters. Let me give you the definition again. Group 5 oils consist of any type of base oil other than those already mentioned in the previous group. So it's a catch-all group. If it is a synthetic oil and it is not a PAO, it is a Group 5 base oil. So I'll say that again. A synthetic that isn't a Group 4 PAO lands in Group 5. So we're ruling out all the Group 1, 2, and 3 conventional oils. Remember, the Group 3 is a synthetic. Not really. So all those out. But all of the truly synthetic man-made stuff is either a Group 4 PAO or it's a Group 5. And this falls into I can't say that word, naphthenic oils and esters.
There you go.
I always say esters. Usually Group 5 oils are not used as a base oil, but as an additive to other base oils.
Right.
So now we know. Group 1 is just really crude junk that we can't really use in very few applications. Group 2 is just a step of refinement. It's going to work, it's going to protect, but not long. Molecular structure is too loose, it's going to break down. Group 3, we refine it quite a bit more. We can get some good life out of it. Most of the world calls them synthetics. We call them Group 3s. But a better oil that can hold its form a lot better. Group 4, whole new level. Man-made, pure PAO synthetic oils that we control the molecular structure of. Group 5 is everything that's not a PAO, but it's the real high-end science that we use that becomes an additive into these other oils. So even down to group 2 oils or group 3s, we use group 5s in those oils. So there's special esters. One great example is our Shift Restore.
Yeah, transmission additive.
Yeah, our Shift Restore is a pure group 5 ester. There's nothing else in it. It's one ingredient, one chemical. But it's those type of chemical additives that we use as we build an oil package. There's a lot going on in the FR3 here. That's why our FR3 can be added to any oil on the market and actually make it better, because we have group 5 esters in here that are the good stuff that adds to an oil additive package. Well, you can just buy it yourself and add it to your oil. So group 5s are kind of like in a group of their own. Some of them make great additives. Some of them are part of the additive package that's already in the oil. But it's the synthetic, the real synthetic stuff that's not a PAO base oil. So what is the best oil you can do? A group 4 PAO base oil with group 5 esters all in it, making the package, and you've got like a big win there.
Well, keep in mind too, the group 5 is not a one-trick pony or a one-size-fits-all, right? That's where the chemistry comes involved. You can't just add it to any oil and think it's going to work.
Right.
It's very fine. You know, there's different things you got to do, and so it's impressive.
It is. And here's another interesting thing that before we lay out our lineup and how it falls in these groups and finish up, one of the real challenges with oils is when you build an oil package is introducing these additives to the oil and getting them to be soluble and go into the solution. So this is why the tribology behind some of our oils, specifically our black diamonds, our blue diamonds, our adrenaline racing oils, becomes very difficult. All of those little loose molecular chains, like all the way down to a group 2 conventional oil, that are the shortcoming of it. It's what can break so easily because it's got, branches and legs sticking off the molecular structure. It allows them to break off. Those also are where we hook and attach all these group 5 esters to. So it almost works in reverse. You can take a group 2 conventional oil, we can add an awesome package to it. It just sucks it up because it's like playing Tetris. It's got so many loose pieces. You're like, oh, I got an additive for that. I got an ester for that. And you stick it right there on the carbon chain and build a really robust additive package on a group 2 conventional oil. Well, just the same way, as you get up to the group 3, it's a little bit more tighter molecular structure. It's harder to add additives to that. And then we get up to the group 4, and we talked about the polyalpha olefin. Perfect, identical molecular structure, BBs across the ground. This is where people really struggle in the lubricant industry because it's hard to attach anything to it.
Yeah.
It's the best oil to work with for that purpose, but it's really what if we could get the lab guys in here and describe this on a higher level, it's where they shine. They wouldn't say it.
Right.
But it's really where Hot Shot's secret and our R&D shines, is that we're able to work with these really high-end Group 4 base oils, and we can get them to accept these high Group 5 packages.
So okay, if you take a PAO or even any other oil, group of oil, and you want to add friction modifiers, detergent packages, etc., but they don't line up, if you will, in the Tetris mentality, what happens?
They don't fit. They fall out of solution.
They fall out of solution, and then
you find it in the bottom of your bottle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you won't, because they'll never put a product like that out, because they'll figure that out. But in theory,
that's why it's so hard to find a PAO, an entire Group 4 PAO base oil.
Exactly, because those manufacturers that are willing to spend the money on a high-end oil like that, on the build of it, they literally, even if they wanted to go pure Group 4, a lot of times they stop short because they need some Group 3 in there to soak up.
To be able to add those additive packages.
Exactly. They need the loose Tetris arms.
Right.
I'm going to start using the Tetris.
That's not bad. Yeah.
So it needs the Tetris arms to catch all that stuff. It's just really difficult. And specifically, once we take it a step past, we have the Group 5 esters in the FR3, but we also have the carbon nanotechnology, which is a whole other story.
Yeah.
And the carbon nanos are even tougher to get into solution. You could get it into a Group 2 a lot easier because of all the arms sticking out. You can attach them there. But once we get into the Group 4 PAO, it's such a slick wall of perfect BBs, it doesn't want to accept the carbon nanos. And that's why the nanotechnology is famous for falling out of solution. Well, we've got 3 patents on it. We've cracked that code, and we've figured out how to keep the carbon nanotechnology in solution, which is mind-blowing for the lubrication industry. However, it's mind-blowing for a Group 2, Group 3. They
Yeah.
figured out. We figured out how to keep it in suspension in a Group 4 PAO. So it's like,
All right,
that's
so
why I tell people, somebody says like, well, can't somebody just steal that from me? I'm like, no, we could show them our recipe and everything. It's the production process that allows it to blend into solution. And you can have the recipe card all day and you couldn't replicate it.
exactly. Yeah. So 2 questions for you. I know we still want to get into the products, but let's bring it back down a little bit. We're getting
Okay.
real technical there. So you mentioned multiple times about these molecular chains, right, and how they vary from group to group, and how these chains can break. What happens when these chains begin to break? What happens? What's happening to the oil? What's happening to the inside the engine?
Well, the oil, as soon as those chains break, you're losing viscosity. That is like your film strength right there. Can't ready to break. So your 40 weight oil
Right.
is becoming a 38 weight. It's becoming a 39, 37 weight, 36 weight. That's why when we do oil analysis, one of the things we'll look at is the viscosity. And again, if it's a Group 2, it's going to shear. That oil's going to start shearing a little bit earlier. That's why you can't get as many miles on your conventional oil change. You step it up to a, bunny ears again, synthetic Group 3 oil change. Oh, they say, you can get twice the life out of it. Well, you can. You can go twice the life because there's less edges to break off. And as those break off, that's your oil shearing. It's shearing out of grade, and now you're no longer holding a 40 weight oil. It's going to start going down to 37, 30 weight. At that point, you're not protecting the engine as it's intended.
If your manufacturer calls for 1540 and you shear down, you're not getting the protection that's needed for that engine.
And that goes for every single oil on Earth. Like when you're out there, if you're running a traditional oil, by the time you get to your oil change, it's not a 40 weight anymore.
No,
It's sheared.
right.
The only thing that can solve that is a Group 4.
Group 4.
Because the Group 4, theoretically, technically, and scientifically, will not shear. So, and we'll get into these groups here now, but this is where people kind of like turn their head and say, I can't believe that's true. But we have trucks that have run 100, 150, up to 200,000 miles on the same oil.
Yep.
The way we do that is with the only way you can do that is with a 100% pure Group 4 oil, because that molecular structure won't let it shear.
Right.
I'm not going to get over this cough. I'm trying. So that's how you go long term and go very long intervals. We just take that off the table by having a pure Group 4 in there. Now there's more to it. You need a bypass filter, keep it clean. We need to bump up the base package and the detergents over time and everything. So,
All right, so the other thing is now if you go to a PAO Group 4, and back to the analogy of a BB Group 4, right? So first thing that comes to my mind is you taking that surfboard across. It's like waxing a surfboard. There's less drag when you're going across that water.
Right.
So now if you got a PAO Group 4, talk to me about friction and wear, drag, efficiency, all that.
Well, everything you just said. There's less arms to break off. Remember we talked about those Tetris arms sticking out? Those are also what's going to allow the film layer, and then of course at ours we have a nano lubricant on top of it. I wish I had my whiteboard. I'm looking at whiteboard
You're
mode.
turning into Chris and start drawing.
But all of those peaks and valleys that we're filling in is the metal surface under a microscope. So the less restriction and drag we have off them, the less going to break off, which is all your metal particles, which we'll see in your particle count and in oil analysis. Those are what's shearing the oil as well. So you're getting particles and losing viscosity. And every engine has its really sweet spot of exactly based on your tolerance and engine type and bearing clearances and everything of what kind of viscosity it needs to run. Nowadays, it's becoming more and more a lower viscosity. We're working on really low viscosity oils now. But the trick is how do you protect them in the meantime? So that's kind of where the science has gone. And something that we're really proud of how we got coming out in some of our STLE presentation coming up. But we're able to go with a lighter oil, a lighter weight oil, while still protecting the engine. So it allows for tighter tolerances of these new motors that are coming out that have really tight tolerances. But at the same time, we use our carbon nanotechnology to bond to the engine to fill those little microscopic voids, whether it's a machine surface on a brand new engine or some wear marks on an old engine. Carbon molecules will bond to it, create a flat film layer. Nano lubricant goes on top. Now, not only are we reducing wear, which this alone will reduce wear, 43% by adding to, we did that test with Rotella.
Yeah.
So you're reducing the wear alone, but then you get the byproducts of it. Now the heat comes down, your horsepower goes up, your efficiency goes up, the longevity of your engine goes. So it all kind of works together. And then trying to get that into a Group 4 package and keep all of this, well, then that's where the future really is. And guess what we have? We've got really low viscosity Group 4 oils with nanocarbons and a full blow. And you still have your antimony, your calcium, your phosphorus, your zinc, all your good stuff that's going to be in the package as well. Even that stuff's harder to blend into a Group 4. But that's what we're doing right now. And what they got in the lab is some really low viscosity stuff that has all that good stuff in it.
All right, that was a lot. You got any questions to catch up on? I got one here that he's asking.
I got Thomas, a great explanation. Everyone's just sitting there going, oh, I reset this though. I'm probably missing a bunch. Am I missing a bunch, Levi? Okay.
So for the average guy, the average driver, is there any benefit of using the adrenaline versus the diamond or vice versa? Well, that depends. For the daily driver, is there any benefit of using adrenaline versus one of the diamonds or vice versa? Well, that kind of depends on which diamond.
True.
Which talks about the group. So run us through our products real quick.
Okay, so let's start. Let's apply our product line to those groups, and this will hopefully answer your question.
Just to track stats. He's our YouTube guy.
Gotcha. So let's start with the green diamonds. We're going to start with, now that we have all learned a little bit about groups, we have a green diamond 1540. Yep, 1540. We're going to call it a semi-synthetic. And if you look right on our bottle, we actually say, it's right here. We actually say right here, Group 2, Group 3 blend. Show me one oil manufacturer out there that's going to tell you what kind of group it is.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is educate people. And so that is partially a Group 2 conventional and partially a Group 3. So as we mentioned before, it allows us to bring the price point down on that without having a full Group 3 in it. This is something that's a very affordable oil that still, remember, everything still has our FR3 in it. So you're going to have that advantage over any other oil off the shelf. But this is a lot what a lot of our diesel shops use as their house oil. Like coming in there for an oil change, it's an affordable oil change, it's a high quality oil. And it already has the FR3 infused, so you save from adding to that. Now, stepped up from the Green Diamond semi-synthetic is our Green Diamond full Group 3s. That's your full synthetic, as the world calls it. And we have that in a 540, a 1540, and now a 1030 as well, because a lot of the manufacturers are moving down to a 30 weight. So we have a 10W30 for you as well. That's in the Green Diamond Group 3 full synthetic. That's where we end with the conventional oils, if you will. Like we offer those out. Now, getting back to that question of how long can this last over this, we never like to quote. Every vehicle beats on its oil differently. Every driver beats on their oil a little differently. So the best thing I can recommend is to do oil analysis. We do them here at cost. I think they're $20. We'll send you out a kit that has everything you need in it to take a sample, package back up, prepaid postage back to us, and that's all you got to do, and get it back, and then we'll actually call you. You can get on the phone with one of our tribologists. We'll actually walk you through your oil analysis and everything. So I recommend everybody to do that, to at least do 2 of them, because 2 of us gives us like a plot graph so we can actually project from, and we can see how long you can go. On our Group 2, Group 3 blend, I know people that go 30,000 miles on that stuff, but I also know people that I've seen in oil analysis at 10,000 miles that they need to change. Well, that guy's driving it completely different, or doing heavy towing or something else. So really depends on how you use the application and what's best for you. But it is true that you could step up to the Green Diamond Group 3. You are going to get a longer interval out of it. It basically has the same additive package in it. It's got the same FR3 balance in it, and it's got the same phosphorus, calcium, very close. So you're going to get the same type of protection out of it. It's just going to last longer as the base oil. So now let's step up to our line of Group 4s, which is the bulk of our oils, because we're crazy and we just love this Group 4 stuff and we put it in everything. So first off is our, let me say gray diamond first. Yeah, we added gray diamond this past year. That's our Euro oil.
Yeah.
That's a Group 3.
530 and a 540.
Yep, that comes in a 530 and 540. That's a low ash oil. It's also a SA spec, so it can be used for both gas or diesel. It's a Euro oil that we really met a specific spec for because we had a lot of our customers asking for it. So, but that's in the Group 3s as well. So now in the Group 4s is our blue diamond oil. Our blue diamond oil is the blue diamond stuff that Chris has been selling before we even put it under the Hot Shots name.
Right.
It's been around for quite a while. He's the only one that had a full Group 4 in the market that I know of. And that blue diamond oil is bad. It is sweet. It's a bulletproof package where it's got all the detergent you need for a longer interval. Infused with our FR3, and the base oil is all Group 4, a pure 100% Group 4 package, not a drop of anything else. So, as we now have learned, not a lot of people do it because it's very difficult to blend all the good stuff into. We've cracked that code. But this is what we put, that blue diamond is what we put under guys that want to go long haul, that want to extend their intervals. I highly recommend, if you step it up to a Group 4 PAO oil, get a bypass filter.
Absolutely.
This is when the bypass filter comes in, because now the oil is going to outlast the dirt that you're going to get into it. Normally, by the time your oil gets dirty enough, it's starting to come out of grade 2, it's time to change. Well, if you step up to a blue diamond oil, it's going to last a lot longer than it's going to get dirtier quicker than the oil's bad. So you could go the full mile, add a bypass filter to it, keep the oil clean, and it's going to last a lot longer and it's going to stay in grade a lot longer. So get all your use out of that oil by keeping it clean. That's really the golden package I always tell people, is to run a blue diamond PAO with the bypass filter. We do regular oil intervals on it. Make sure it stays clean. There's 3 things we look at. Number 1 is it's still in grade.
Right.
Well, we know that's going to be in grade because it's a PAO. It's not going to shear. Just remember the molecular structure? It's not going to break. It's going to last like that, theoretically, to 200,000 miles. Number 2, we look at how dirty is it? Well, if you have a bypass filter on there, strain that oil down to 2 microns.
You're keeping it clean.
Should be darn clean.
Yeah.
You know, so at some point it'll overpower because soot is less than 1 micron in some parts.
Yeah.
But it'll allow you to go, again, over 100,000 miles keeping it clean. And then the third leg on the decision point is what the TBN level is. This is your base level. As we know, as you start using your oil, it's fighting acids. It wants to turn acidic, so it starts with a high base number. And as those acids build up, the bases fight the acids, and it slowly depletes. It's kind of like the detergent package as well. It wants to clean the stuff, but it slowly depletes it down. So one of the analogies we always use is like if you're doing dishes by hand, and you've got a real soapy, you just squirt some Dawn in there, it's good. Well, after a little while, you need another squirt of Dawn in there. That's what's happening inside the engine as well. So now, great thing for us is we have a product called TBN Booster, which is TBN, FR3. It's got a robust like CK4 detergent package. So we actually, those long haulers we've solved the ability of it to shear, stay in grade. We've solved it to keep it clean with a bypass filter. And now we do analysis, and we just pour a little TBN in each time and just bump the base package up, and you just keep rolling.
You're good to go.
And there's no reason to change oil. And the good thing about that, too, is your engine never sees anything but clean oil. Whereas opposed to your normal interval, you start clean, and right before you change it, you've got some nasty stuff in there. This, with a bypass filter, you never see dirty oil. So that's your blue diamond oil. It's really good stuff. Now here's where we're going to get really crazy. Now we're going to cross over to the adrenaline racing oil. The adrenaline racing oil is taking that same technology and applying it in a different way. Our adrenaline racing oil is 100% PAO. Now, why would we need that? If we just said that the whole purpose of the PAO is that it's not going to shear and come out of grade, so these guys can go tons of miles. Well, in a racing application, they tear up oil in an 1/8 mile pass.
Insane.
As quick as an over-the-road trucker does in 40,000 miles. They can replicate that actual harsh environment on the oil. So
think about the heat and the pressure I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially nowadays, the more horsepower, the dimmer end. So what we're doing is we're taking that technology from what we started with in the trucking world with a bulletproof base oil that won't shear, and we're bringing it over to the racing world and saying, okay, these guys are shearing oil at these 3,000, 4,000 horsepower engines in 2 to 3 passes. We've done oil analysis on your full synthetic racing oils out there that we know are a Group 3. And again, good molecular structure, but enough edges to catch.
Yep.
We've literally seen after 1 or 2 passes, a 50-weight racing oil is now a 46-weight racing oil in 2 passes.
Yeah.
It's already come out of grade. And that's no longer, and these engines, we're talking $100,000 engines. Like,
oh yeah.
Tolerances are tight, like on point and everything. If you go off your viscosity by 4 points, that's
in trouble.
Detrimental to your engine.
Yeah.
So, again, we're taking that completely off the table. When you run our racing oil, and it comes in a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 weight oil, it will be that weight no matter what you do to it. You can beat it up, left, down, and up, right. I was just talking to Bill Lutz. I'm actually bringing Bill some oil today, and he uses our 60 weight alcohol stuff because he puts a lot of alcohol through it, and I don't want to tell you how much horsepower that guy has, but every time we sample it, now he pushes a lot of alcohol through it. That's a whole different story. But as far as the base oil structure, he's never sheared it. He's never been able to shear it. And he's got more horsepower than most of you folks out there.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
So we're taking that over to the adrenaline racing oil, and then what we do with the racing oil is we put a ridiculous amount of protection package in there. People always want to talk about zinc.
Yeah.
All oils have zinc in them. Zinc's a pretty cheap additive, to be honest with you, and it's an anti-wear, and it's pretty good for an anti-wear, and to protect the engines. We actually don't use a ZDDP, which everybody knows ZDDP. You can buy in the store and add it, and don't add it yourself. It gets dangerous when you do that. But we use not a phosphorus-based zinc, but was it calcium-based? I forgot. I have to ask Aaron.
Yeah.
But we run like 2,800 parts per million in there, a ton. And then people always say, "Oh, wow, that's great. Mine has this much." But where our real secret is we put, I think it's 2,000 parts per million calcium, but 1,000 parts per million antimony. I challenge any of you racers out there, go ask whatever oil manufacturer you're using how much antimony they put in their oil, and you might hear 5 parts per million, 10 parts per million. We literally put 1,000 parts per million. It is the most expensive additive you can find. That's why nobody uses it, because you can never make money if you're using a lot of it. But it basically, antimony and zinc supercharge. It's like, that's how chemistry kind of works. And this thing just supercharges zinc and puts it through the roof. Then on top of that, we have our FR3 nanocarbons in there protecting everything. So our adrenaline racing line is literally the kitchen sink. We threw everything at it, every part of protection you can. And I know we're over, I just realized. So the only oil we have left that we haven't nailed down in this lineup, and the reason why I saved it for last, is the Black Diamond.
Yep.
And people are like, oh, that was kind of out of order. It's not really, though. And the reason why, our Black Diamond, I will put our Black Diamond oil up against any oil on the planet. Bring it on. Any oil company out there, if you want to go head-to-head, bring it on to our Black Diamond. It is a bad, bad oil because it is everything we've talked about today. It's a Group 4 PAO, 100% pure base oil. It has all the protection that we put in our adrenaline oil package. So you're talking all that zinc, calcium, antimony. It's got all the FR3 carbon nanotechnology. And then go back to our Blue Diamond stuff that has all the TBN and the detergent package to run long intervals.
Yep.
We put that in it. So it's basically our racing oil with a huge, robust detergent and base package to it. Well, that's why in-house we call it the street strip oil.
Right.
It's for those guys out there that have a high horsepower car, truck that might take it down the strip, or you might street race or something, somewhere where you really have a lot of load on it, or you might be towing a lot with it. But at the same time, you want to kind of daily drive it or drive it to the store. It's not quite a race car that lives on the trailer. Mm-hmm. It is everything. The Black Diamond literally has everything we can throw out in oil, and then some too. So it's really the best of the best of our science and technology and what it can do. Right now, it only comes in a 1540. We're talking about bringing it out in a 1030. We're also talking about bringing a 1030 out in the Blue Diamond too, because I know a lot of people are looking for that with the new tolerances. So those are both probably coming soon. In the meantime, a lot of times what somebody else can do is they'll run our 30-weight racing oil and take our TBN booster and add a detergent package to it. Now you just kind of made your own street strip oil at the weight you'd like. And we can do crazy stuff like that. If you call us, we'll work with you and make sure.
So when can you not use Black Diamond?
You cannot use Black Diamond in any system, any emission systems. And I know we're over, but we'll talk about that real quick. Just like the racing oil, you don't want to put it in anything that has emissions in it, which would be a DPF in the diesel world or a catalytic converter in the gasoline world, because we have so much of the zinc and antimony. That stuff doesn't mix well with emission systems. So it's really race car stuff only, or pre-emissions. We know DPFs came out around, what, 07?
Yeah, 6, 7.
So you don't want to use this in a post-emissions vehicle. But if you don't have emissions on the vehicle, you're free to use what you will. And that goes back to one other point, which should be just thrown in today. What's the difference between a gas and a diesel oil? Nothing really. There's people think that there's a special build for one or the other. The main difference in the two of them is that we can't put as much good stuff in a gasoline oil because catalytic converters are really sensitive. They just can't handle a lot of good stuff. So a DPF in a truck, in a diesel truck, can handle a lot more robust cleansing packages and base package and all that stuff. So we take advantage of it and we boost all that stuff up when we make a diesel oil. So, but as far as like chemically, there's really not much difference to it. It's just how the package is built. So that's why we often see at the racetrack, the people will have like Rotella out there. And it's called the poor man's race oil. Because they don't have any emission systems on it. People are like, what are you putting that diesel oil in a race car? It's like not really a diesel oil. It's what's inside. It's an oil that has a bunch of good stuff in it. Whereas if you go buy it off the gas rack, there's not that good stuff in it. So if you have a vehicle that does not have an emission system, you can run anything you want. Diesel, gas, doesn't matter. Racing oil, you name it, it can go in there. The only thing you have to watch is if you do have an emission system, you got to keep it really light with gas oils if you have converters, and you got to watch it with the DPFs if you've got a diesel. So, other than that, I think I didn't realize how late we were running, but late here, good stuff, great explanation. Late getting on here. Will you be at Outrageous American Truck Show? Oats 2021, Terry Hall, look it up. I don't know. It's not on my schedule, but I know we're looking at some truck shows right now. So I will let you know. Anything for you?
Nope. That's
Overtime?
That's it.
All right, sorry to take you over, but we're talking oil. Oil's good stuff. But I'm going to be gone the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I'll be in California next week. I will be in Kansas the week after. I will update everybody from when we're out there. I know Diesel World will be carrying the race live next week. So you can watch our new West Coast series, the Whole Shot Diesel Drag Racing Series, live on Diesel World. I don't know if Piedmont's going to be live fed or not, but
I'm not sure.
We'll look into that. But I'm sure they'll go live down there at the track, and be exciting next weekend to get the whole season going and everything. So tune in, sign up for the newsletter, do all that good stuff. Love and like all of our Facebook pages and all that good stuff. And I'll tune in from California next week. Let you know how sunny it is.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
All right. See you next week.